Hi everyone, Bamirich here, and I'm back with another quick video, another quick FPL corner video. And as always, we're gonna go through how I did in the previous game week 12. Look at the next game week 13, what my transfer plans are, and definitely give some tips as well in terms of transfer plans for you guys and what you might want to do for your teams. Without further ado, let's get into it. But actually, yes, with further ado, first of all, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment on the video, and all that good stuff. But yeah, let's get right into the video. As you can see here, I've got my team from last week up, right? So we've got 71 points from last week, which isn't bad compared to the average of 57. But the main thing really is that one, I'm beating the average, and two, I'm actually tracking up. So last time I got a green arrow, I went up from I can't remember what it was from last time, but I went up to 182,000. Now I've gone up slightly, it's another slight green arrow, 178,000. So that's not too bad. And I'm going to show you how the team did generally, right? Starting from defense, I had Foster in goal because Sanchez was actually banned, and I think I've got to take him out. Let me see. Yeah, see, no, I didn't. I did put Foster in goal. So if Sanchez had a red card from his previous game, so I had Foster come in, and fortunately, obviously he was facing United. We were dreadful, lost 4-1, but he did quite well. I think he got an assist for one of their goals, which is why he got his 5 points there. And I'm happy with that. At least he got me points. My defense is looking pretty damn good. Like, I'm pretty happy with that. Cancelo. It's a shame I benched him the week before against United, but he got his 12 points. Trent and Chilwell. Now Chilwell is an interesting one because I'll talk about him a little bit more when I'm talking about my plans for next game week. But Reece James is doing really well, and he's pretty much beaten Chilwell every week. And I think he even scored in the Champions League yesterday when Chelsea played. So yeah, so I think oh, was it yesterday, 2 days ago? So Chilwell is really like an interesting one, but let's not get into that. Livramento came off the bench for Rafinha, so he got me 1 point. Nothing major there. My midfield looking all right. So last week, as you will see from my midfield, I made a couple changes. I had 2 free transfers. I took out Havertz for Gallagher, who got me 5 points. He got an assist, I believe, in his last match against Burnley. He's doing quite well. He's just a no-brainer really. Looking at his recent stats and his recent scores against Man City, Wolves, etc. 13, 11, 5 is pretty much a no-brainer for him, and he's been doing well all season. Good underlying stats, and that helped. That let me bring in Kane. As you can see, I put Kane captain instead of Salah. Salah is inevitable. I always say this. Always captain Salah. He's only blanked once this season, and even then he got 3 points because he got a clean sheet. So he blanked once in game week 2. But I thought, let me try something different. Kane was facing, who did he face this week? Leeds. And Leeds usually are quite open at the back. So I thought, let me try Kane as captain. Didn't really pay off. It didn't do anything. I watched the game and I was like, oh, come on, Kane. But yeah, so Jimenez got me 8 points as well. And Antonio blanked. Now, and the bench is the bench. They all got 0 points except Brownhill got 2. So now let's look at what I'm going to do for next week, because I've got, or this coming game week, because I've got a few plans basically. Let's have a look. So this is my team as it stands right now for game week 13, right? I've actually got a decision to make with whether I put Foster in goal or Sanchez in goal. If I'm gonna, it's not a big, it's a big decision in the sense that obviously Foster's facing Leicester, Sanchez is facing Leeds. Both teams haven't looked that good. Both opposition teams haven't looked that good lately. Watford don't keep clean sheets though. I think they've only kept 1 clean sheet. They haven't kept a clean sheet in like 22 games or something silly like that. So even United were able to score against them. So I'll probably keep Foster in goal. I mean, I'll make a decision later on. Sanchez against Leeds, I don't know, at home. I'll make a decision like probably last minute and make a decision there. And either one could be right, either one could be wrong. My defense now, that's where I'm trying to consider what I'm going to do. As you can see, Chilwell is injured. He got injured in the Champions League game and it looks pretty bad. It kind of looks like the Van Dijk injury. So I'm hoping he's not out for ridiculously long. But if he is, I could go straight from him to Reece James because I've got a bit of money in the bank. I'll show you that in a minute. So I could go straight to Reece James, but I'm thinking maybe I'll wait because yeah, United have been rubbish, but it is United. At the end of the day, United can score. However, Chelsea never look like conceding a goal. So, but also not even because of that, I could probably play Ben White this week, which is probably something I'll be happy to do. They're facing Newcastle, so maybe I'll play Ben White this week. Midfield. Now, last week obviously I got rid of Havertz for Gallagher, and Havertz blanked, and also brought in Kane for Vardy, who also blanked. So those are two good moves. But I'm thinking that first of all, let's go into captaincy, right? Captaincy this week, I tried the Kane thing last week, it didn't work. So I'm just going to go straight back on Salah. Always trust Salah. He doesn't blank. He's inevitable. He'll get an assist. He'll get a goal. He'll get something. But yes, in terms of moves for midfield, I'm thinking I just leave my midfield as is. Obviously, I could, with the Rafinha injury, slight injury there, I could think about getting rid of him. But I'm actually happy, even if he doesn't play, I'm happy for potentially Chilwell to play, which I don't think he's got. I think Chilwell will probably be out. We'll find out on Friday. And Livramento, I'm happy to play him. He could get an assist against Liverpool. Who knows? But midfield is probably going to stay the same. Now, attack is where I'm thinking I might make some changes. Now, if I do obviously make a change in attack, then I will probably make a change in midfield because I have extra money. Because what I would do in attack is probably drop down either Antonio, who has a couple, three next fixtures aren't that great. So Man City, Brighton, and Chelsea, not great fixtures. But the problem with Antonio is from game week 16 onwards, he's got pretty good fixtures all the way to game week 27. So, Burnley, Arsenal, who they just got thrashed 4-0. Obviously, it's Liverpool. Anyone will get thrashed against Liverpool. Norwich, etc. You can see the fixtures there. Very good fixtures. So I'm pretty conflicted about dropping Antonio right now. And Jimenez, his next two fixtures are really good. So Norwich and Burnley, I'm expecting him to get a goal against Norwich. And since I brought him in, he's actually done really well. I can't remember when I brought him in, but he's been doing pretty well since. He hasn't done. He's pretty much only blanked twice, I think. Yeah, as you can see there. So I'm thinking of either waiting this week, like I said, rolling my transfer, keeping it for having 2 free transfers, leaving Jimenez and Antonio, maybe getting rid of Jimenez after the Norwich game or after I think Burnley's. I said it was after, right? So after that Burnley game, and then make some changes to my team. Or just pulling the trigger now, getting rid of Antonio, and I don't know, bringing in. I actually don't know. I actually don't know who I'd bring in. I've got some suggestions for you guys. So maybe when I make those suggestions, you'll see. Let's do a little bit of moving and playing around with the team to see what I would do if I was to make a transfer this week. As I was saying, I've actually got a bit of money here in the bank. I've got 1 free transfer. I've got 1 mil 1.0 left in the bank, right? So I can do that Chilwell to James move quite easily, literally just because James is only 6.1. I still have 0.8 in the bank. So I could do that. But like I said, they're facing United this week, and I just feels weird to me bringing in a defender against United. Of course, James has been ridiculous, right? He's been 12-7, 21-13. He scored 1 goal, 2 goals, got an assist in the last 4 games. That's 3 goals and 2 assists in 4 games. That's ridiculous. And I mean, United have been dreadful. We played well against Villarreal the other day, but I don't expect us to beat Chelsea. Let's just be honest. And James's expected goal involvement is only behind Trent Alexander-Arnold. And on the Trent point, defensively now it's just looking like the goal. I've been telling you guys for the past few weeks, make sure you have a Chelsea defender, make sure you have a City defender. I haven't mentioned Trent because that's a no-brainer. Everybody should have Trent. I don't even know what his ownership is. His ownership is 34%. I guess it's expensive. But yes, I mean, I would have Trent in my team. And I do have Trent in my team. But yeah, so if you're looking at a template now, I think you're probably looking at definitely Trent at the back. I'm sorry. Have Trent at the back. Have Cancelo. Get a Chelsea defender or 2 Chelsea defenders. So, you could look at James, obviously looking ridiculous. If Chilwell's not injured, or if Chilwell is injured, Alonso. And I was talking to one of my friends today about Alonso, and I think he mentioned that he's already bringing Alonso in because I assume he thinks Chilwell is injured. And to be honest, if Chilwell is injured, Alonso is a great option now that I've thought about it. Or Rudiger, who's also been doing really, really well. And they're all around the same price anyway. Rudiger has the most shots in the box for Chelsea defenders, which is crazy as a centre back. So I mean, any two or three of those three would be great, or those four, because I mentioned Alonso as well. So Alonso, Chilwell, Rudiger, or James. I definitely recommend bringing in James. You know, like I'm considering doing it myself, but because I've got so much money in the bank, I'm probably happy to wait an extra week. If or at least find out on Friday if Chilwell is really going to be out for ages. If Chilwell is out for ages, then I'll get rid of him. But yeah, so those are my first tips, right? Sort out your defense and make sure you got those guys in the two or three of those guys in the defense. One thing I'd mention as well is obviously we've got the Christmas period coming up, festive period. You know, I love Christmas, by the way. Festive period, and looking at the fixtures, right? Let's look at Spurs, for example. And I'm using Spurs as an example because between game week 14 and game week 15, they play on the Thursday at 7:30, and then they play on the Sunday, so 3 days later at 2 o'clock. So it's a quick turnaround, and I think there's a few teams that are going to have those kind of quick turnarounds in the next few weeks. So just bear that in mind when you're selecting players, and bear that in mind when you're looking at your team, because you want to make sure your team has a pretty good bench. Otherwise, you're going to find yourselves in positions where you've got players not playing, and then your bench isn't helping you out. So that's probably why I'm quite happy with my team at the moment. All my bench plays, even Brownhill, you know, he plays quite well, quite often, not necessarily well. So I looked at Spurs because Son and Kane and Reguilon I still think are good options. You know, their fixtures are really good, as you saw there. Burnley, Brentford and Norwich in the next three. Brighton and Leicester. That next 5 fixtures aren't bad at all. So you can still look at bringing in Spurs players. That was a move actually I was thinking of making, which is, like I was saying, if I dropped one of these two, so Antonio or Jimenez, I could drop Rafinha maybe and bring in a Son. So let's see, if I bring in Son, I'll have 5 mil left to bring in a striker. I don't really know what kind of strikers I can get for 5 mil. Dennis, I can't afford him obviously, but yeah, so that's something I'm looking at doing. But I would definitely recommend looking at the Spurs players still, and possibly considering Lamptey at Brighton. And the reason I say that, I've always been a big fan of Lamptey, but he just always gets injured, unfortunately. So looking at it here, where is he? He's 4.4, so he's quite cheap. If you wanted to maybe swap out Ben White or in my team, for example, or Livramento, Lamptey gets forward a lot. It gets very attacking, and they've got some decent fixtures coming up: Leeds, West Ham, Southampton. West Ham isn't really a decent fixture because West Ham are a good team, but they've got relatively good fixtures, and Brighton are a good team. And he's starting to build his fitness back up. He's been injured, that's why he hasn't played many minutes, but I think slowly but surely he'll get back to 90 minutes, and I think Lamptey could be a differential pick going forward. Yeah, I think those are the suggestions I would make. Like I said, I don't really know what I'll be doing with my team. I probably will just wait for the press conferences on Friday, tomorrow, and I'll consider either going from Chilwell to James, leaving Chilwell as is, or maybe try and do some tinkering and maybe do the Antonio down to and then bring in Son. But like I said, I will want to bring Antonio back in game week 16, so I might just leave the team and just potentially just do the Chilwell to James thing and leave it at that. But let me know what you're going to do with your team, as always. I really do want to know what you're doing with your team, because it'll maybe give me some tips as what to do with my team, and especially you guys that are in my leagues. You know, I'm top of all my my like personal leagues, so like my friends and that, like work colleagues and all that kind of stuff. I'm top of that now finally, but let's stay there. That's what I'm trying to do. But you guys that are in those leagues, let me know what you're doing, so that I'm not just telling you what I'm doing and you can just get a storm ahead of me. So yeah, thank you for watching as always, and I will see you on the next video. As always, like this video, comment on the video, as I've already said, and subscribe to the channel. See you on the next one.